Hey, Ben, our intro didn't work.
Uh-oh. Hey, that's my
Leave it
life.
to StreamYard. Kathy, Kathy, help. Not now, but the intro didn't work. She's going to
This
say StreamYard watch. So, everybody, welcome to Mental Health Matters on a Tuesday night. Wonderful Tuesday night. I want to say hello, Kathy Ann, Red, Aria. I love you, sweet baby. And everyone that is my mod, that are my mods, I appreciate you so much. John's backstage, and thank you all in the chat. And hi, Aunt Dana, and Marie. I see everyone in here, but let me introduce you. If I'm sure you all know, it's Mr. BenBaconBits.
I'm still trying to decide upon a name, so
Hey, I like it. I like it. I like it.
yeah, I need to come up with a better sounding channel, but indecisiveness, ADD.
Oh, hey, hey, we feel that. Aria, Dana, that's Aunt Dana to everybody in the chat. Red, that's Aunt Dana. So y'all can, that's my aunt. She supports me on my channel, and I appreciate her for that. So, how has your day been?
Uh, Interesting. How about yours?
I sat through an 8-hour webinar on I-9s. Yeah. That's all you can do is laugh.
Well, I have to. I do have at least one obligatory question. Um, is bologna hot dog pancakes?
Say that one more time.
Is bologna hot dog pancakes?
No.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Okay, you're going to go against the.
I'm going to go against the grain on that one. Only
Okay.
because I don't like a lot of meat. But okay, so I don't like hot dogs and I don't like bologna, but I don't think that hot dogs taste like bologna. So I'm going to say no.
Cool.
I'm going to go against the grain on that one.
Oh.
And I get to ask you the last question. So
Oh my.
it's just a thing of me, of our channel. So, and everybody here is so relaxed and they're so cool. They're very sweet. My chat is, hopefully we'll have more people coming in soon. Usually, I think Reese, I don't, hey, does anybody know if Reese was doing the Colts and Crims? Because I did not, we had already had this scheduled whenever it came out. So if not, we'll get the, she is?
Yeah, she's going live right now. So
okay, so I'm going to lose some of my mods, and
I think everybody that's here is staying. I think we.
Oh, they are okay. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate that.
I think we got Aria. I think we had Blake said he was going to join us. Okay, and Red's here, so we should be well covered. And I think Kathy Ann's going to ping pong back and forth.
Poor Kathy, she's been ping ponging. Kathy is our miracle worker.
I've been trying to get her to slow it down, but you know Kathy Ann.
Yeah, right. Red's here. Red is here, and Aria from her hospital bed is here.
Let me unsub and resub because I have not. YouTube's getting really flaky about the notifications.
Notifications are not going out, and I don't understand it. I really don't.
Yeah. I've been subbed to you for a while now, and I've only caught a couple.
Yeah, so can y'all please check to see if you're subbed? I would appreciate that very much. I usually don't even say that. I let the mods take care of that, but I mean, Ben's was unsubbed. I don't know what's going on. I think once you hit monetization, they start taking away all your people.
That's nice of them.
I know, right? You can't keep a good woman down. John. Oh, Lord. So, Red. Yes. But no, we will have people pouring in and out. I don't think they've done a Colts and Crims in a while. So I didn't, but we already had this scheduled, and there's so many channels. It's really hard to.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've been in that situation so many times, and you can just, keep sliding to the right as far as you can and schedule.
200 over 200 channels in this community alone is just like, Thank you, Red. Yep. And if you do like it, hit the like button, please. I don't ever say that either. I probably should do that, right?
If it helps, I
don't
always feel to say it.
I don't say any of the YouTube things. Wait.
Yeah.
Who says that? Somebody says do all the YouTubey things. Oh, Nora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She does. She says do all the YouTubey things. Oh, Aria. Okay. I love her. She's just a sweetheart. She's getting to go home tomorrow. Yay.
Oh, that is actually, I'm really glad for her.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. She knows I love her. And Red, I appreciate you coming on. I'm so happy. And Aunt Dana and well, Marie is always here, which I love her to pieces. And I'm gonna say hello to. That's about all we have in here, huh? Kathy Ann is back and forth. We'll get some more in. So, but so what did you? I know that I heard you. I watched yours and Hamina and John's from last night. And unfortunately, because I didn't get to catch it exactly live, or I would have been in the comments screaming at John in all caps.
Yes. That seems to happen to me a lot. I always start out with, I'm going to say things. I can have it on a PowerPoint. I can have pieces of paper behind the screen, and I'll still just blow right by it.
And I was like, it's easier when you're outside. Like you're not pressured to get it all in.
It is odd when you're totally relaxed. Still, it's for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's just it's something about it.
I'm gonna tell you, you're right about that though, because I was so scared of coming on. I was so scared to take this step. But I work in mental health. I have a degree in mental health. I've been a paramedic, like I said, since I was 21. But I just put it like this: God doesn't put you where you want to be all the time. He puts you where you need to be.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. And so I no longer work on the ambulance. I had a back injury, and I actually just in January had neck surgery to fix. They had to go in through my neck, through my throat to fix my C-spine.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't.
No, but they cut my throat. See, you don't understand. They cut my throat. I freaked out.
Wow.
I freaked out. But I know the human anatomy. I watched plenty of videos on it, and the doctor was really. He's in Houston, Texas. I'm in southeast Texas, and he's really amazing. He saw me the day after Christmas, and I was in surgery January 8th. I mean, that quick because it was an emergency. I had crushed my. He said, I said, what happened? He said, you have a 50-year-old spine. It's like, okay, I don't want to talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
All that trauma in the body, from being running and going, lifting, CPR, all that good stuff. So
yeah.
And then I have seizures. So on top of that.
Yes.
But here I am.
Do you have spinal bifida?
Nope. Do not have that. No, I ruptured L5S1 on the ambulance when I was on a patient that was actually having a seizure. How odd is that? Yeah, that's what happened. I had her intubated and didn't want to lose my airway when we were coming up with her, and she started seizing. So I did the one thing you're never supposed to do. I bent straight over, and I blew my back out immediately. That's okay. I got it fixed. That actually was an easy fix. I've never had another issue with it, and then all of a sudden. My spine I have had COVID 6 times. So my spine I always see my spine on my chest x-rays. All of a sudden I see it doing this. And I'm like, whoa, that's a change. First of all. And the pain in the middle of my back is not normal. Well, what's normal except the setting on a washer. But anyway. So, but that, I just got that done. Just hit my 9-month recovery period, which is what they said it would be. And I'm doing them fantastic with it.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So, Blake's in here. Hi, Awakened.
Make sure my background's silence. I don't get notifications like crazy.
Yeah, I don't have my Apple Watch on, so it can't ring. I don't have my iPad in here. It can't ring. And my phone is on silent, supposed to be. The other one I left in the bathroom, so I tried to do this right. Yeah, see, Ben, look, I don't know if it'll, let me try something here. Oh, wrong way. Oh, I love you, Aria. I'm not amazing at this. Honestly, I'm just winging it. I don't know if this will zoom in anymore. No.
Wow. We got little fancy cameras.
Oh, yes, I love it.
Wow.
It says they whispered to her, "You can't withstand the storm," and she whispered back, "I am the storm." That's my life. That's yeah.
Yeah, that is a really
I keep that up there for a reason.
So you played six string?
I don't. I am the vice president of Global Country Music Association. I go to Nashville so many times a year. Well, did until COVID. And then all of a sudden kind of got a little anxiety disorder, and my CPTSD seemed to come out. So I guess your compartments can only hold so much before they bust open. So that's what I've been working on. And I'm trying to improve every day. Because I miss my music. I miss my people. My people. I miss my people. Yeah. But, well, how about you?
As far as?
Tell the ones in the chat a little. I mean, I looked your channel up. I've actually probably binge watched every one of your videos now. So.
Oh my gosh, you inflicted yourself with that. Well, yeah, that was it was quite interesting. I've actually fallen into the whole behavior influence, closet psychology. I fell into that study quite. I suppose, yeah. I had a little bit of a crisis about. I guess it's been 20 years now. It's amazing how time flies. And I checked myself into a recovery center because I was just codependent. Oh my gosh. Codependence in basically you derive too much value off other people's opinion of you. And when you, and eventually those people who you depend on so much, they will disappoint you. I will disappoint you. We disappoint each other. It's the human condition. But yeah, that led to such a crisis for me because I was so heavily dependent, or codependent rather, that, I was thinking, oh, woe me, poor me, oh me, woe me. So I checked myself into a recovery center, and I know it's important not to compare trauma. Yes.
No, but we talk about trauma on this channel.
Yeah. But while I was in there, I was exposed to a lot of people who had, it was mind blowing. And, your trauma is your trauma and somebody else's is theirs. And, you shouldn't compare somebody's to the other. But I was blown away by some of the stories that some of these people, some of the events they have lived through, some of the things they were trying to overcome. I just found that fascinating. And it was in there. One of my doctor of psychiatry actually told me about the brain and how part of it, when you're depressed for long enough, will actually start to atrophy. And it's like it changes physical makeup. And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like,
you can see it.
And it's like, that's amazing to me. And he was just kind of, why would anybody think that's amazing? And that's really what got me interested. I fell into the study of body language, and then I don't know how, but then mentalism came up. It's like hypnosis, just the study of those, just as purely, I guess, an academic exercise. But I've been furthering that. In my management training, body language came up, and I realized I have no idea what they're talking about. Body language. what's that? So I started really hammering on that. And yeah, a few years later, I've actually started to pick up a few tricks. It wasn't easy, and I still have
Right.
a long ways to go. I think everybody who studies it says they do as well. But I picked up a few interesting friends along the way, and I've worked for a few really interesting people in that area and in neuroscience that have really, really helped me immensely, especially with things like self confidence
Mm.
and you know self talk. The limiting messages we the limiting beliefs we tell ourselves. I'm never good enough. I'll never measure up. Things that commercials like to tell you, you are not. They like to get you to compare yourself to somebody else and then say you're not good enough.
Absolutely. Big
Tell
Pharma likes to tell you that too, but I guess I won't say anything about that.
But yeah, so
Um,
I just kind of fell into it.
so yeah, I was all looking. I was going to ask you this. I was looking. Everybody's like body language, especially when. And I appreciate you coming into my personal chat. I'll tell you in a minute how that got started, but my on my personal page. But how, where do I? Is there anywhere to find you on for the body language? Everybody's talking about it. I'm like, where?
Um, right now, I'm in. Of course, there's a channel called the Behavior Panel.
Is that you?
No, I'm just a person in there. I do not do the Behavior Panel, but that's a good place to pick it up. I'm also in Body Language Workshop, the Behavior
Okay.
work, or yeah, Body Language Workshop, Body Language. Body
Hey, it's
language
called
management.
ADHD. We got
Yeah.
this. We got this.
True Crime Workshop. There's been quite a few programs that I've been a part of that have really really helped. And for a short time, about half a year, I worked for Chase Hughes with his app. Um, Again, he's one of the members of the Behavior Panel,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I picked up a lot of stuff from him. And it's the kind of stuff where you go through it once, it's like so, but then it sticks with you and you start really thinking about it, and that's when you really start to change your worldview or the way at which you view the world exterior to you. And it's like, wow, this actually, there is a lot to this. I mean, you have to reach a point to where you accept it, but that's the way with any therapy. I mean, you can go to a therapist. Okay, okay, doc. I hate my father. I love my mother. Go. And if you don't put the effort in, you're not going to get much out of it. But
I agree with you, Ben. I'm in
yeah.
therapy 3 times a week. I
Mhm.
do telemed,
Mm.
an hour a session. I've been through the CBT, the DBT,
Oh,
the EMDR, and
yes.
now I'm actually starting this coming week. We're going to start the ART.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I've had EMDR and it had ART
it
as part of it, but I thought it
it
was
was.
all included ART, and it wasn't until long afterwards I
Mhm.
realized no, that's not the case.
Actually, I had a viewer, one of my chats. Somebody in my chat sent me an email about the ART. I didn't even know about it.
Hmm.
Because I've just been focused on strictly what's my next goal, and I put in 100% because I want to get out 100%, unless it's just a waste of my time if I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have an excellent therapist in CPTSD. That's what she specializes in,
Hmm.
and
Nice.
in anxiety disorder. So,
Hmm.
and yeah, she's absolutely great. But the ART, someone emailed me actually, and I sent it to her. She said, "Oh yeah, we do that." She's like, "I've done." She was like, "We haven't gotten to that step." I said, "Why did we go through EMDR if this actually is?" I was like, questioning all this stuff. She was like,
Hmm.
"That's why I love you as a client, Keilah."
Yes, it is. It's amazing to me how well it works on some people, and and I guess again, we're not supposed to compare, but in my case, EMDR with ART it was a game changer for me. It
I'm glad
allowed
to hear
me.
that.
It just completely. I mean, I went from childhood trauma
Hmm.
being, I don't know how you want to rate it 1 to 10. I mean, probably 8, 7, down to a 1. I mean, it just really, and I realize real results vary.
No, but I'm glad you told me that because I went on EMDR, but it takes so long. I think it's because it is a long process.
Yeah.
Some may not be some, but mine was taking so long. I started getting resistant to it, I guess you could say. But
Mm-hmm.
I cleared 4 of my 6 negative core beliefs through EMDR, and I went from
Wow.
like a 10 to a
Mm.
1.
Wow.
So,
Nice.
and I've not had any fallbacks, anything. So, I mean, it's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful. But if there's ART, that this says is can do faster, better. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna try
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. Allowing you to reframe, and yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah. And that is exactly, and I don't know, maybe it works better in some cases and, not others. Who knows?
Now I
There's,
couldn't hold the cans, because I kind of didn't want to feel like I was stuck in a Scientology room. Yeah. So, can do the
yes.
cans. Not gonna do the cans. No. And I
Yeah.
feel sorry for anybody that actually does the MDR. That's all the second gens or the ex Scientologists that we support and love on this channel.
Mm,
It breaks my heart because EMDR does work. I mean, if you give it a chance, it mostly does work.
yeah.
But for somebody to walk up and say, "Here, hold these cans," whoa,
Mm,
I mean, they're gonna have,
yeah.
that's just gonna be another trauma
Yeah.
afflicted on them. But I did the tap and the eye movement, and it worked great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've done the eye movement
Hmm.
multiple times with different issues, and I did the pulses in the ear. I haven't done the tactile vibrating. I haven't done that one.
See, that's what I'm retired red. I'm glad you had success with the MDR. That's great. I mean, I've had success with it. It's just
Mm,
I will not hold 2 things in my hands because it makes me feel like, okay, is this
yeah.
what the Scientology puts them through? Nope, can't do it.
Sure.
Don't support that part of it.
Sure.
But the eye movement actually does, and we thought it was going to affect my seizures, and it doesn't.
Mm,
So
mm.
it was a positive, and it works. And
That
then
is
the tap I can do, but I do better with my visual with the eye movement.
sure. Yeah. And at the time, I did really well with audio, but playing in a bar band for years, competing in different sports which involve loud things that go bang. Having the bass amp.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
I love concerts. I'm front row or don't go. Okay, that's just it. That's me. And I'm like, oh, I'm saving money. Oh, wait, concert ticket. No, if
Yeah.
it's but my I can the strobe lights. Okay, during a concert, I can
Mm,
close my eyes long enough. They don't last long. Not the
yeah.
white strobing lights that
Sure.
trigger my seizures. The
Mm,
only other thing that I have noticed that besides stress, obviously, that
mm,
triggers them is the deep bass of a vehicle, like parked out.
mm.
It like if you're inside a store and they leave their truck on and that boom, boom, but it never changes. It's that constant. At a concert, they're always changing, so it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. But
Sure.
in like I will literally just freeze that I get into that fight, flight, freeze, fawn.
Mhm.
I freeze when it comes to that just because I know I start sweating. I have a visceral reaction. Not that I
Interesting.
know it's going to cause a seizure because I don't. It's
Yeah.
just that is a trigger,
Yeah.
and I mean, I will just freeze
Mm,
until it's gone, or I cover my ears, but you can still feel it in my brain, like just like that, boom. So
mm.
yeah, that is not something that would work for me if it has that much bass. It's just a continual.
Yeah.
Now concerts, it's all change. That's music all the time. So it's
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It is surprising, though. You think that hearing damage is going to occur from the high tinny noise, and it does, but it can also occur from low. You get some guy up there,
Yes.
thinking he's Geddy Lee and doing this number. And then everybody cranks up their amps a little bit, and of course, at the time, you're made of rubber, you're invincible. Mom, if it's too loud, you're too old.
Shaking the pictures off the walls.
Yes, and you don't notice it at the time, but about 10, 20 years later, it's like, oh wow, yeah, my hearing is really going to pot. But
yes, yeah. I agree with that. My eyes went. Well, the first thing to go on me. I turned 45, I think. Yeah, so it's about 5 years ago. I never wore glasses in my life. Never had to have them, and ever.
Wow.
And then, all of a sudden, I'm in progressives. It took me about 2 weeks to get my feet steady. They said no driving, no walking upstairs. I know why now. I didn't drive with them, but when I tried it, I said, I'm going to try to come up the steps home. Oh, no. I was like, put my foot out there, couldn't find the step. Now, no, so this is my second pair. Now I've got to go back. My age is showing now. I have to go back and get them increased.
Yes. All the joys.
I love it. Yeah. And gravity. I don't know how. I don't know. Oh, ain't Dana. Oh Lord. I know that gravity is not. I don't know if we're far enough in here for me to say any words or not. So I'll be demonetized.
That is one thing I am getting. I'm probably picking up bad habits of not being monetized. Of course, flagging my videos.
Oh, I'm good. He said
18 plus and all that. But
he said we're good. John said we're good. Okay, well, gravity's a bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it starts to affect. This starts to go down, and it goes in places you didn't think. Yeah,
absolutely.
Your chest
I guess.
up.
Oh yeah, be a woman. I think I'm the only person in my family of my sisters that stayed all natural. I don't have any silicone. But I definitely want to get into some of the topics today because I would, like I said, I was screaming. But poor John. I was like, no, John, you shouldn't. And then I'll probably get hit with something that I have no idea. So I got it up. So I'm Marie, what'd you say? Betty Davis said old age ain't no place for sissies. Oh my Lord. She is so funny. Oh, I didn't need any. No, I actually danced all through high school and everything, so I didn't need them. So I'm going to let you take over now.
Oh, okay.
You just let me know what you want me to do.
Okay. Do you have any slides or any?
I don't have slides, but I have information.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't get my.
Okay.
But I do have share pages. So what do you want to hit on?
Just want to get to elements of the bystander effect or
okay.
mob mentality or whatever.
Yeah, I've got it all up. Okay, so we're gonna use this one because I actually like this one from Very Well Mind. I don't know if it's Did you read that one? Okay, so is that okay for me to show that one?
Sure.
And it was actually just a year ago, so it should be pretty much up to date. I like that psychology part of it. So let me not mess this up. I'm learning how to do this. Okay, so bystander effect. And I know it's going to be so little, and I'm hoping it. But we'll see. Let's see. And add to stage.
Oh wow, that is. I like the way Restream handles this.
Yeah, the only thing is I'm afraid I'm not gonna be able to blow it up. See, I have my monitors are so big.
Mhm.
So when I put it over, it looks so small.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like the difference in how this isn't Restream. This is uh,
StreamYard.
StreamYard. Yeah, how it
Mhm.
handles it so much differently. I like the stream or like StreamYard.
Yeah, let's see. Get that off there. Okay. So the
Okay.
there you go. So just tell me what you want to hit. We've got it.
Okay. You have the bystander effect, and basically, let's see if there's a good way to sum it up. It's an oddball. I shouldn't call it odd. I guess it's very well documented, so I guess that would mean it's not odd. It's an effect that you can run into where the greater the size of the crowd,
Hmm.
the less your chance of getting help actually is. And there has been
Yes.
quite a few famous cases of this, and I don't necessarily want to get into them if they're going to trigger anybody, but there's been people who have had very bad things happen to them in full view
Oh, yes.
of other people who do nothing. And
And
this, hmm,
yeah, I'm sorry. I did not mean to talk over you at all.
go
I,
ahead.
I, I was just going to say the main thing that we learn and we teach for CPR
Hmm.
because of the bystander effect is no longer do we say somebody go get help.
Mm,
Because the bystander effect plus, the mob mentality. Well, somebody else is going to go get it. Someone else is going to go get it. No,
yeah.
actually, no one ends up getting help. And you're
Mm,
the only one there actually performing this. So now what we teach is you point to someone and you tell them, you go get help.
sure.
You call 911. You give someone a job and have them go do it. And that way they're
Yeah.
responsible for that, even though you may not. I mean, you can't make them, obviously, but that's what we teach in CPR. Like if you're out somewhere and something happens and there's a
Mm,
bunch of people around, if you individually just give someone a job to do instead of
mm,
saying, can someone? Because
mm,
then no one does. That's all
yeah.
I was going to add to that.
Sure. Yeah. And that falls right in line with some of the ways to overcome. Uh, exactly what I read on several of these civil studies and websites. Yeah, and yeah, that is exactly one of the things you do is delegate specifically to a specific person and
Right.
make. And if you're suffering a bystander effect, and what this would mean is if you're in a crowd and something's being done to you, or you're needing help. It doesn't necessarily have to be. I mean, there's a couple aspects to this. You can be the victim of violence or bullying, whatever term you want to use, or you could be facing like a medical emergency. They will tend to both work the same way as far as bystanders. Now, what those people do can vary, of course, but if you're suffering and there's a lot of people around and they're just going to ignore you. That was
Mhm.
one of the videos that we showed was a study done in England, and
Yes.
yeah, they had people laying by a train station, and there was
Mhm.
one lady who laid there for 8 minutes, and people are just having to walk over her. There's a guy next to her reading the paper, and
I saw
she's
that. I was like, what?
yeah, that was quite. And of course, it works in multiple ways too. It's called the bystander effect, but it could be pluralistic ignorance, which is a specific thing in the bystander effect. Where
Right.
I think it was like the first example, the smoke-filled room,
How
where
long how long did it take that lady? 20 minutes?
20 minutes, and
Wow.
that exact exercise has been repeated multiple times. And for those who don't know, it was an exercise wherein people are in a room. Uh, at first, they just had one woman seated in a chair, and smoke. It was a smoke generator, but she did not know that. A smoke generator behind a door, and they had smoke pouring in the room, and the fire alarm goes off. She gets up, looks at the fire, exits. I mean, within 5 seconds. But they did the same exercise, and they brought another woman in, and they had like, I think it was 5 actors who are told to do nothing. And you could see the same thing happen. She notices the smoke, and that's when they started the timer. And then the fire alarm goes off. She looks at other people. Nobody's doing anything. They're just continuing to work on the survey that they were given. And so she just goes back to working on the survey. And when they repeated this exercise, the video I had was actually a pretty poor example. They've repeated this exercise multiple times, and they had better smoke generators later on. And the smoke, for some people, it was so thick, they were having problems reading the paper they're filling out. They're having to do this number because the smoke was so thick. They would stay in there. She stayed in there for 20 minutes, all the while a fire alarm's going off, which to me would just drive me insane. I mean, those things cause pain to a lot of people, and they're designed to, because they're designed to make you not like them. But yes, if you're facing the bystander effect, one very important thing, if you're the person in the situation where you're needing help, medical, bullying, whatever, they tell you to make eye contact with somebody
right there. Yeah,
you form a connection with somebody, and that can kind of force them out of, because now they have a connection with you, even though it's just eye contact. They have a connection with you, not just the people around them. It kind of forces them out of that mindset. Right. It would be better if you could say their name, but unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what they make, eye contact and ask the individual specifically for help. Yeah. It does make it personal, and then it's not just anybody.
Yeah.
Because when you say anybody, then you're going to get nobody.
Yeah, yeah. And that's definitely one of the things to try to get over this, because what happens in the bystander effect is we start to develop, and this happens also with mob mentality. We start to identify closely with the people around us, and we don't realize this because we are operating in several several dichotomies. But we identify with them. Okay, they're not doing anything. Well, they're doing the same thing to us. Well, he's not doing anything. So, and there's a lot of factors at work, including, not correlating that what you're facing in is an emergency. We tend to, the return to normalcy is a big factor, where and that could be evidenced by. There's a picture of a woman who had been through Hiroshima. Her house was completely destroyed.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I freeze?
Oh. No, I accidentally tapped my earbuds trying to put it back in, and then all of a sudden StreamYard starts playing in my ear.
Cool.
I always have technical issues.
But there's an interesting picture that you can find.
I'm looking at these videos. Was what I was doing was bringing them up, and I see the one that you showed yesterday about them walking by the lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see that one, and then the Stanford prison experiment.
Oh yeah, that was there are several, and they vary in severity. And as I said on my program, it's something which you can find in every university. It seems like every year, at least somebody in the class will do this for their master's thesis or something.
Yes.
So they'll repeat it. But it has been so well documented. You can find examples of this. I think I brought it up in my show where they took it down to a very low casual level of even having people. They're being brought in and they're told, okay, you're going to watch somebody set up a product. We'll rate the product. And the example was a person setting up a tent. Well, tents by themselves with a dome tent, especially if you don't have a surface that you can, anchor the thing in, they're going to be difficult anyway. But the person was pretending to have more difficulty than, I mean, he was just having all sorts of issues. And they found in cases where if one person was there, it would be 30 seconds. And the person, do you need help with that? But the more people got involved, it would climb upwards of 8 minutes before, because everybody else is waiting for somebody else to help. So yeah, it can be. It doesn't necessarily even have to be an emergency. It can be even in a casual setting, and that again, we can you can talk pluralistic ignorance. A good way of thinking about that is you're in a classroom and you have an instructor and he's just babbling. Sure, it'd be like going, think of going from simple arithmetic to all of a sudden you're doing multiplication or division or something like that, and this guy this babbles on and yes, is there any questions? And what happens a lot of times is nobody, even though everybody is, or most people are having confusion, a lot of times nobody will raise their hand because they do not want to be the one person who, oh, I don't understand, because in our eyes, you lose face in the tribe that you formed around you. And a lot of times, there's a lot of reasoning in this is that we're very tribal animals. When we, earlier times, your fate depended upon the tribe. If you didn't belong to a tribe, you didn't get the chance to, enjoy food. You didn't get the chance to reproduce, and
yeah.
several other
So
things.
what is it? Okay. So where did my list go? That's the one thing I don't have in here. Oh wait, I do. I posted in the chat real quick. I pulled up all the examples, all the case studies on bystander effect.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted the link in the chat for anybody that wanted to see it. Let's see here. This is what. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Sure. Yeah, it's a
kind of go back to that.
Yeah.
As far as your tribe.
Yeah. Yeah. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's basically a large triangle, which defines the human needs.
Right.
What you have at the bottom is your physical needs. This is at the very bottom of the bottom. You'd have things like air. You cannot live long without air. Then probably next up would be water. But yeah, it goes up from there. And the thought is that you cannot ascend to the next highest level. Above that, you have your safety needs. This is safety from your environment, economic safety, all sorts of things like things that we attribute to safety. And then after you have those safety needs met, where your life is no longer in danger constantly, then your needs then focus in on, I need to belong to a tribe, your group. Tribe. And once you meet that need, then you start to differentiate yourself a little bit within that tribe. This is how you get leaders and things like that within organizations. First, they're usually first, not always, of course, but you belong to a tribe, and then you start to ascend to a leadership position or a specialized position within that for your esteem needs. And then, of course, then you can climb up further into what they call self-actualization. And self-actualization is kind of cloudy.
I'm going to share this one.
Sure.
I'm going to show this just so people can, if you don't mind.
Sure.
People can see what we're talking about here. Oh no, I'm not meaning like that. I just want to see let them see what if it'll go on. There we go.
Yes, there we go. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
So that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And see, when we get into the love and belonging, even the psychological needs, your shelter, your tribe.
Yeah.
We're all, so That's just what I wanted to share with them about we're all human, we're all animals, we have to have our tribe.
Sure. Yeah. And most people, the vast majority of people cycle between self-esteem and love and belonging. They'll cycle between those because we will, and this is something that I think Peterson talks about, several other psychologists talk about this, or he's more of a, well, anyhow, you belong to a group, you then start to differentiate yourself from that group or get higher esteem, and then you move to another group, which then you're back down into belonging to a group, workplace, and then you start to climb
Mhm.
again. We're constantly, upward, I guess it'd be upward mobility and
Right.
self-actualization. That looks like a lot of different things to a lot of different people. That can be, people who have successfully met all those lower needs, and the idea is that you become a self-driven individual at that point. Then you're fully in control, and yeah, most of us will
Yeah.
never reach that, unfortunately.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But yes, and
That's
then this all goes down to that yellow level, that yellow or orange level of belonging, and
belonging.
that will take us from the esteem need. All of a sudden, we'll get sucked down into there because all of a sudden we no longer have esteem as part of the group. We're wanting to belong to that group, and we do not want to get pushed lower, which is a lot of times what we fear with that's evaluation apprehension. I mislabeled that earlier. Where you're afraid of losing face in
Mhm.
front of bystanders. You're afraid of, I will look stupid. Um, I will
That's
do something
the
that,
ego.
yes,
Always the ego. Yeah.
yes,
Let's see.
you
I
can,
did have the well, that's the bystander effect. I had the mom mentality pulled up.
mm,
Okay. So where did I do with it? Oh, here it is. Okay.
and,
So
oh,
on mom mentality, um, it's a little different than bystander effect.
yeah, yeah. The same forces are at work, but then you start adding in your emotional or your, yeah, a lot of times you're driven by emotion because
Mhm.
the crowd, and I try to remember the term for this, and I'm
Here,
losing.
I'm going to share this page that's actually just a web page, so we can go up and down it if you want to do
Cool.
that. Yeah, let's see here. We'll be able to actually this is just a search tab, so we can do whatever we want to on here. If you can read it, I know it's little,
Sure.
but yeah, the mob mentality, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's got the trends and but I mean, this is a. I mean, this was what in the 1800s.
Yeah, yeah, and of course there's been some excellent, unfortunately, a lot of excellent adventures are examples of this where all it takes is, I mean, once you form a mob, the idea being that the mob actually has it's its own biological organism, that you're not an individualization. You're no longer an individual, you're just a member. It'd be like being a cell of this organism that you're a part of, and that
Yeah.
the mob actually develops its own. Yes, that humans have part of a large group, often neglecting their individual needs in the process and adopting the behaviors and actions of the people around them. And what's one of the scary things about that is you can have people in a group who will model behaviors and things like that they are normally abhorrent to. They
Yeah.
just absolutely would not take place in that. But you have uh, that was one of the great examples of the Darren Brown video I brought up, and unfortunately,
Oh,
I missed I failed to explain that the actual study group, because a lot of people came away from that. I was not aware of it, but they came away from that thinking this was a valid show. It isn't. It was an experiment where who was actually being studied was the audience. But
Right. The rest were actors in
yeah,
there.
yeah, and you in this case, what you had was a reality show, or what they thought was a reality show, and it did actually involve somebody who did not know what was happening to him. He absolutely was just a pawn. Everybody around him was an actor. They were kind of guiding him from instance to instance. But what was happening was they would stop and ask the audience to vote occasionally. Is this
Um,
guy can have something good or something bad happen?
that audience was like literally wanting the worst thing in the world to happen to
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
I
and
was
that
like,
was
wow.
and that was one of the things that Darren pointed out at the very end. I really wish I could have played that, but he noticed that at first they're starting out with real low stakes, meaning like the first vote they do is the guy can get a free drink or he gets overcharged, where basically he's already paid for drinks. He's asked to pay for them again by a bartender, and the audience voted. It was fairly close. I think it was down in the 50, 51, 49 percentile differential there. And at the first, very low stakes, and they're kind of laughing a little bit, but this progresses further and further, and they are being, in their defense, but this would happen regardless. Uh, they were being egged on by a charismatic leader who was
Right.
exhibiting humor. He was laughing, but it took very little to get the audience amped up into this. And what you see is later on, as this progresses, it starts getting to the point where they would ask things like,
Right.
this individual can go into a store, he can be the lucky 5,000th customer and get some monetary reward or some physical item, and or he can be falsely charged with shoplifting,
I
and
know.
and the audience voted for him to get charged with shoplifting. And this is when they really started laughing about it. They had an actor go in and he actually planted stuff in the guy's bag. Did a very good job. That's not
I
that's
really
not
thought he
easy.
got kidnapped. Like, I really thought that.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then as it progressed further, he got arrested. Now
Yeah.
they couldn't legally hold him, so it was known at the onset that they're not going to hold him for forever. But he gets released at near the end, and the audience has a choice. He's getting released by police. He can either get cash money at the end or get kidnapped, and this is where you start to see that. I can't remember what the voting percentile was, but it had grown.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was like 70s or 80s.
Wow.
As far as most people had
Yeah.
wanted for him to get kidnapped, and uh, it, during this process, they were sending people. They were sending a guy into his apartment, and they were saying, just things that were just totally embarrassing. Check his underwear drawer. Who wants that?
I know.
Broadcast. And I don't know. I don't know. Darren Brown, of course, he's very careful about things that they do. So I don't know if he planted stuff or what. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But the audience at this point starts to participate more vocally. They're telling the guy in the video to start ransacking the room, to destroy property, and he does, and they start cheering. And finally, by the end, they're voting for him to get kidnapped.
I,
And
I don't
uh,
want those people voting for me.
yeah, and they were actively cheering as this guy's, he just gets released out of the paddy wagon, and black van pulls up, and I think it was 4 or 5 guys start trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
kidnap him, and they are laughing and just hysterically. And I thought Darren did a really good job by having the shock at the end, because it's revealed later that the person in the video is actually, they had a stunt double because they knew the audience was going to do this. It was a stunt double dressed in the exact same shirt, and they knew in advance what shirt this guy was going to be wearing because it was given to
Hmm.
him by his girlfriend. But the guy runs away from the car, or runs away from the mob or group that's trying to kidnap him, and he runs into a car, And of course, they're laughing right up to where he gets hit, and that kind of shocks them out of it. But sadly, it wouldn't have taken much for them to derive pleasure from that. Just a little bit of egging probably would have gotten them to derive humor from that even. But at the very end, I thought it was very fascinating because Darren pointed out we are all open to this. It doesn't make them, that there's good people in that audience. I guarantee you, and he didn't say this, but I mean, it's something I'm saying, I guarantee you that there was somebody in there whose mother was sick in the hospital, or, whose daughter was, facing, a difficult relationship. There was somebody in there who, just celebrated something. These are normal people, and they can be so easily driven to this just as we all can, because we're
I mean, individually, they probably would have never done that.
Yeah.
I mean, I most of them, I mean, just individual, but because you have that empathy, but then you get into the mom mentality, and it's all gone. Yeah, I had scrolled it up to here about the mob. Is the mob mentality always negative? And it says mob mentality is not always negative. For example, a group at a concert may have right there, I should stop. I'm going to interject. Squirrel. Squirrel. I'm going to interject here. Okay, mob mentality at a concert is not a good thing, but just saying. That's why I say front row or don't go. And when I'm in the front row at the stage, I've already found my way out, my out points, and where I'm going to be going, and whoever's with me is going to be going. And it's a shame, but that's the truth. I am not going to be stuck in a mob in a concert.
Yeah, that is important.
But that was just a squirrel. Okay, so and it says a group at a concert may have a mob mentality in which the group shares their thoughts and emotions in a positive way to appreciate the music. Mob mentality has to do with how groups of humans behave, which can be advantageous or harmful.
And typically what starts to happen, and the bigger the mob, in any mob, you'll have a certain core group that are your thinkers. There'll be your actors, and whoever they are. I mean, in an absolutely chaotic mob, this could just be somebody who decides to punch somebody, and that starts a chain reaction. But the larger the group, the less intuitive actors you will have. But yeah, there's always room for somebody to be the brains of the operations. And it's just unfortunate that when you're caught in that group think, a lot of times we don't. We just go ahead and submit our individuality to the group, and it's very easy to do, and it's one of those things becomes a slippery slope. Once you do it once, it gets easier to do the second time and third and fourth.
Right, and
it's a downward. You can face a downward spiral. But
I mean, you lose your critical thinking. I mean, just you don't. Yeah, it's just that's not a good place to be.
Yeah, and it can be further aggravated. In Darren Brown's case, you had an actor, a charismatic leader individual who's kind of pushing the group along, which is very easy to do. If you have somebody who has a microphone and amplifiers behind them, they can very easily feed that. But just as they can feed it for negativity, they can feed it for positivity too. They can
absolutely. But see, I like this question: who is the most susceptible to mob mentality? I mean, everyone, obviously, but while everyone is vulnerable to mob mentality, there are certain situations that make it more likely to occur. For example, adolescents with shared antisocial tendencies and a lack of family bonds, there's our tribe, are more likely to join gangs as they search for their social identity.
Sure. And that is one of the key factors against both of these, bystander effect or mob mentality. The amount of empathy you have, the amount of experience you have, if you're trained, and when I say first responder, I don't necessarily mean medically trained medical workers. If you're something as simple as if you know CPR, if you know how to work the AED machine, that forces along with it a change of mindset to where you're expecting, okay, what happens if this happens? Somebody collapses. Well, I know to do this because you have that mindset already. That's going to make you less susceptible to it. People who have gone through trauma recently, believe it or not, are less susceptible to the bystander effect and mob mentality.
Oh, wow.
Because they had, and they found that after 9/11, that people who escaped the towers, that they became more willing to help other people when they faced it. And I wasn't ready for that one. I did not expect that. I didn't think that would at all be the case. I thought if anything, they would be they would be pro, just because they'd gone through it once. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Fight, flight, freeze or fawn. And that's a lot. That's a lot of trauma.
Yeah. When you have an event, first of all, you have to notice the event, which, that may sound like, well, duh. Well, not always.
Not always.
Yeah, sometimes we're buried nursed. Feed me, see more. Yeah, it's more likes, or we want that screen. So, okay, you got that working against you. But then we have to interpret the event as an emergency, which
assess the situation. I mean, I guess that's coming from the medical side. Assess your situation.
Sure.
That's the first thing you do. And somebody may be having, I'm sorry, but like somebody may be having personal stuff going on that they don't want. Well, they shouldn't be doing it in public, but just saying,
Yeah.
And you walk up and think someone's in danger and they're not. And then then you're putting yourself in danger. Don't ever do it alone, obviously.
Yeah, not. Some people, unfortunately, they climb halfway up this ladder, then they face negative consequences, which then makes them less likely to do it in the future. Like if you interpret an event as emergency where it isn't, where this falls really easy to do is children, especially if they're running, if somebody's screaming, oh my God, and even it doesn't necessarily take necessarily an arrest or anything like that, but I mean, people's looking like, what the hell's wrong with you? You have now faced the negative consequence of your tribe around you.
Yes.
Reflecting negatively upon your behavior. You will be less likely to do it in the future. That, unfortunately, it's a fact.
It is a fact.
Yeah.
And I love wearing my Gen X shirt. I'm like, come on, y'all. We were raised on what is it? Wait, I have a new one. Speaking of, I'm like, I think Gen X is like, our time to come home was dark when the porch light came on, I just got this in and haven't even looked at it yet. I don't even know.
It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
That's exactly right. Let's see, raised on hose water and streetlight curfews. And then in the back it says survivors of drinking hose water, blistering hot metal slides, little parental supervision, and not getting participation trophies, known for our charming blend of cynicism, sarcasm, and skepticism, the true FAO generation.
Yep.
I just got that in.
But after you interpret it as an emergency, if it is in fact an emergency, you still have to assume responsibility. This is because you can still interpret something as like, oh my gosh, this is, but
but here we go with that. Now, this is what I was hollering at John. I was like, please. I love him. He knows that. Let's see. This is where I have too many tabs open. Okay. So where is it? There we go. Yeah. This is where I was hollering last. I was like, come on, John. Come on, John. Good Samaritan law. So all 50 states do have some type of Good Samaritan law.
Yeah.
Okay. And it does say the Good Samaritan law offers legal protection to individuals who render aid to any injured person. The goal of the Good Samaritan laws are to encourage citizens to help one another without fear of a lawsuit, providing reasonable care.
Sure. And there's some countries, Brazil, believe it or not, or and we were just talking about Quebec before coming on here. Quebec.
Quebec.
Just
Sorry, John.
Anybody who's Canadian. But where they have laws enacted that says if you witness something and you don't take action, or if you could have helped, you're facing consequences.
Okay, so that's the failure to act.
Yes.
Yes. So I had that actually pulled up here. I'm trying to look, see. I did have that pulled up. Okay, so I did have the failure to act on here. But the Good Samaritan law on here is I actually had something pulled up. I'm not trying to make anybody dizzy. It says, I read that already. Good Samaritan laws give liability protection against ordinary negligence. Ordinary negligence is the failure to act as a reasonable, prudent person. It is the failure to exercise such care as the great mass of humanity ordinarily applies under the same or similar circumstances. So, but, this is where I found, all 50 states and the District of Columbia have some type of Good Samaritan law. The details of Good Samaritan laws vary by jurisdiction. So I know that Texas, we have a great, then there's unintentional injury. So for the responder, for like first responders, Good Samaritan laws protect persons who choose to assist others who are injured. Such laws have historically been intended to reduce the hesitation of bystanders to assist an injured party, but it also is good for healthcare professionals, but we cannot be paid for the care given during an emergency, and healthcare professional must act reasonably, exercising the same standard of care within the limitations of the emergency or true. And I know that being and there's reason that you have so many that just will drive on by. It's because like the handoff, you're still bound by your license. And so if I stop, in which I've done too many times to count, even at SeaTac Airport, perfect example, SeaTac Airport, where our plane was we were switching planes, and this man's laying on the ground, and he looked about in his 60s, and I'm like, okay, and there was a little girl she was probably in her 20s. She was sitting there and just kind of, I could tell she was trying to hold his airway open. And of course, me, the trauma junkie, I jumped down there and without thinking. So you don't think when those situations arrive. And I jumped out. You have a mob standing around looking, all the bystanders standing there watching this man. I jumped down there. I said, "What are you doing, honey?" She said, because I was trying to find out what happened to him. And she said, "I'm holding his airway open." I said, "Honey, that would have been good if he'd be breathing, but he's not. So move out of my way, please." So, I didn't know if he had fell. I asked, okay, did anybody witness this fall? Did anybody see what actually has happened to this man? Because I needed to know if I'm dealing with trauma or medical. They said that he just fell down and fell back. So I'm not looking at any trauma. So I'm tilting his head back to open his airway. I'm screaming, "Bring me an intubation kit, bring me an AED, bring me what I need, bring me at least a bag valve mask and some oxygen. This man is not breathing." Me not having anything on me, I don't care. I did mouth to mouth. I know everybody today would be like, he would have died. No, I'm sorry. That's not what I took an oath to do. So, I did. But it's funny that I looked up and I said, I'm like, are y'all with him? There were 3 doctors standing there.
Wow.
3.
Oh my God.
Do you know why they did not get involved in his care? Because you can only hand off to someone at your level or higher. They would have had to miss their plane, go all the way to the hospital with this man if they would have started care. That's why a lot of medical professionals will not, and that's just a selfish thing. We take an oath.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so I stayed there until the paramedic that was equal to my, to my level showed up.
Mhm.
And I had God bless this little. I guess he was a new EMT basic. He tried to shove me out of the way, and my mom, she's an RN. She wasn't about to touch. She's like, I'm not touching. I'm like, really? I was like, just go hold the plane. Because our plane was supposed to already take off. I was just like, go hold the plane.
Mhm.
But so I had her doing that. And soon as they brought me an AED, and he was in a shockable rhythm. I did shock him. And right at the time I did that, my sister was walking out of the bathroom, and she screams bloody murder when she sees his chest. I was like, just get my family out of here, please. But this little EMT comes up and tries to shove me out of the way. And I'm like, Mom's like, you might not want to do that.
Mhm.
I was like, you never met a Texan like me. Don't do it. So I stayed with him until the paramedics got there. We saved the man's life.
Good. Yeah, and I didn't think that with that accent, I didn't think you were necessarily a native to the Seattle, Tacoma area, but
Oh no, I was just going to visit one of my sisters up there that lived there in Washington State for a few years.
Yeah, and there's actually been, because there was a rash, and there probably still is, honestly, of people. Now, these things are appropriate a lot of time, because if you're witnessing a hate crime, you know what?
Yes.
Yeah, call 911, have your friend record, but
Yes.
turn it over to police. But what people are doing more and more often, they're taking these things and they're posting on social media,
All the
and
time.
there's some places that have made that a crime, which I'm thankful to see.
I'm thankful for that because I
Yeah.
mean I guess I can't really necessarily say HIPAA violation because I mean it was in the public. I didn't know him, he didn't know me,
Mm.
And thank you for SeaTac Airport if you ever see any of this for holding my plane that day.
Yeah, you didn't identify him, so yeah, you're.
Yeah, no, well, I mean I didn't even know him, so yeah, I didn't even get it. I didn't. But yeah, I really that poor little girl. She was just like, I mean, I really felt bad for her. She was just like, I'm holding his airway open. I'm like, it would be great, baby, if he was breathing.
Yeah, and which feeds us to the last point of the decision model of helping is know the appropriate form of assistance that's
Right.
required. And you know what? A lot of times we don't. So,
Yeah,
okay, what can I do at this point? You can always call 911. If
that's
you
right.
don't know how to help, even if it's just being, a lot of times you can derive being a warm body. We saw that. I'm saying like we actually watched it, but the video where the woman who's lying by the train station, you see this
Yes.
happen where there's a woman who notices him, but notices her, but she doesn't act. And all it took was one person going down and helping this woman. She acted, because what happens in that case is that somebody's giving permission for somebody
Right.
else to act. So even if you can't necessarily provide physical aid, you don't know how, simply going there to talk with them and help them, maybe while you're dialing 911, you never know. It can cause somebody else to stop.
If you're absolutely correct, Ben, and add 988 to your
Mhm.
911
Yeah.
because 988. If you have a mental health crisis, if you see someone in a mental health crisis, if you see someone on the edge, 988 is specified especially for that.
Yeah, and that was one. That was another example I pulled up. Was there's a clip that's making the rounds on. I think it's already past it, but past its peak. But it was went viral, and it shows. Oh, come on, John Bon Jovi. He's walking, and I think it's in England. I'm not sure
Oh
where.
yes, and he's the one who stopped.
Yeah, there's a woman who's getting ready to jump off a bridge,
Yes.
and I played the video simply because there was a family that walked right by this woman. The son, little boy in this family, goes towards the woman who's getting ready to jump, and her mother pulls her back and just keeps walking. In that case, there, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's a jumper. Okay, I get it. You don't know how to talk to this person. Fine, stop. Call
Pick up the phone.
988. If you don't know 988, call 911. I guarantee everybody knows 911 what your phone does.
911 for that situation, I would have called 911. Yeah.
Yeah. It's because it's probably best to get police or
Yeah, get someone there to keep her from jumping.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's like crazy that I don't understand the mentality. Maybe that's because who knows?
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
And I'm not necessarily a fan of John Bon Jovi, but I'm really proud of him in that instance. I mean, I'm not a fan of him just because music was overplayed. Okay, wow, but he handled that situation masterfully because he slowly approached the woman, and upon seeing it was a woman, he got within earshot of her, stayed back while his girlfriend or wife, I still don't know.
Yes, someone she could relate with.
Yeah, got closer, and he knowing that he's famous, was able to leverage that in this instance, and that's very powerful. And one thing that is very is one of the most basic factors of the bystander effect is just simply even knowing it exists helps in not becoming a bystander. It's a form of inoculation almost. Just simply being aware that we're prone to it.
Awareness.
Same with mob mentality, because occasionally something will happen in the back of your mind and wait a minute, there's something going on here. I don't know if I agree with it. Now, what you do with it.
And we all have that.
Yeah.
But, well, okay, no, wait. I don't like to use. We mostly all have that.
Yeah.
Most of us do anyway.
We're all.
What'd you say, Marie? Bon Jovi. It was a producer on the film. Oh, really?
Oh. Okay, I knew nothing about it. I just pulled it up because it was a handy clip. But what happened to I had the page open. Let's see here. Maybe it's in this one. Aha, where I lost the chat because there it is. Okay. It was producer on the film crew. Interesting. But yeah, that was a very handy clip. But yeah, the short of it is, and there's been cases like the smoke-filled room. The reason why they use that is there's actually a famous case that occurred in England where there was a fire and everybody perished. And the reason why they perished was it was filling up with smoke. Everybody saw it. Everybody knew it. They were waiting to pay their bill. And everybody died. They just willingly.
I don't understand. I guess I don't understand. Yeah, there's so many of these bystander effects, and I did drop a link in the chat, and also the mods have put everybody that is here, please, if you haven't subscribed to Ben's channel, please do so, because the mods they have been putting your link in the chat.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we don't have any in here now, but we have a replay crew, and I wish my replay crew would just all be live one day. But I always schedule something at that.
Yeah. I'm gifted that that's out of the world.
Nothing I can do about other people. Okay, so the bystander effect, let's see. That's what I was going to ask you. This one was the condemnation of the residents that failed to act. In 1964, oh yeah, that's the woman was brutally attacked in her alley, just steps. Yeah. Okay, and then
that was actually the most famous case. Genevieve, I think was her last name.
Yes.
I forgot her first name.
I got it right here. It is Kitty.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Kitty. Yes.
Yeah, that's the first.
And then
I know there was also a high school too. Now the high school was the one I brought up.
Richmond?
Yeah, Richmond High School.
Yes.
Yeah, that was another. That was another one, and unfortunately, I probably shouldn't have used that example. I shouldn't joke about it, but unfortunately I just kind of blurted it out, and I hope I didn't traumatize anybody. But that was an absolutely horrible case where a young girl was being attacked in school, and she's being attacked at her homecoming
Yeah.
dance. And
that was horrible. And I know you can't talk much about the case. You said you couldn't
yeah,
say much about the ongoing case, but I hope they all.
yeah. And what was, I mean, first of all, she's getting attacked by 10 guys. Okay. But then you have like 10 more who observed the incident and recorded it. And of course,
I'm
they're not
sorry.
recording it to put it on, they're recording to put it on social media. We're recording to get
Yeah, and if you're going to, they should have been, there should be charged the same exact thing that the person doing it, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that was, the damage that must have been caused in that instance is just,
that's
the poor girl's psyche. I'm glad she survived.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and the stuff the witnesses said once Popo caught up with them, and they all turned. The stuff that they were saying is just horrible. I mean, the stuff that she was enduring, and but
so my question is, what type of individuals could do that? With obviously none that either. Okay, so we have mob mentality or bystander effect, but we also have participation in this, and we also have the people that were actually doing those outrageous, just those acts. Do they have a soul? Do they have empathy? Because I don't want to be around anybody like that.
And that's one of the big things that also helps with counteract stuff like that is empathy. Just teach empathy. It doesn't necessarily have to be I don't know what the term is, not active, but even cognitive empathy. That's empathy where I can identify with you because I've been through the same thing. Where just the cognitive process. I do not, I may not feel what you feel, like full blown active empathy, but I'm using that term because I can't remember the other term.
Empath. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
You don't necessarily have to feel what they're feeling, but you can say, I don't want you to have that. I do not.
That's right.
I care about you enough to not have that happen to you. Just simply teaching that to children and practicing that. Yeah, empathy isn't it? Yeah, that is sad. You have 1%,
especially your antisocial.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not capable of that.
Yeah, and you're talking upwards of 10% when you're talking. Your psychotics 1%, or not psychotics, your psychopaths 3% for sociopaths, even though that term means a lot of different things. But then 6 narcissists, they're talking the dark 10%. So you have 1 in 10, but
that's scary. Look around you.
Yeah. Yeah, and in that kind of instance, it's important to distract, to diffuse the situation, delegate, like you were talking about. You delegate something, document.
Go do something, yeah.
Document if it's safe to do so. Delay if possible. Try to come up with a delaying, and direct somebody try to direct somebody to safety or something like that. It's a little different because that's more of a violent situation, where a lot of the bystander effect can be traffic accidents, heart attacks, whatever, drunk, things like that. But if you're witnessing something where you have a mob that's chanting and screaming, okay, well then call 911 and try to discreetly report it, but give it to law enforcement. Don't do it to post on social media.
Yeah, don't just record it for social media, because I'm gonna tell you that is
or one
people's
one person,
lives. I don't think we can stress this enough, Ben, that we're sitting here on video, okay? We're talking back and forth. I don't see, I can't see the people in my chat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see they're there, but visually. Okay, so imagine on, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram. I mean, hey, Sophia. Just I love her. Just I mean, whatever social platform they're using, they're not seeing either picture. I mean, and it could not even be a child, honestly. Hey, Susan. Oh, Reese must be done. Hey, Susan. It may not even be a child on the other end of that. But to drive someone to the point that they want to unalive themselves, the cyberbullying, my grandson was 13 years old, and he was a victim to that. And he is no longer here. And I'm a very big advocate against the cyberbullying because people don't understand. We are real people. There's a real person on the other side of that keyboard, and you don't know what they just went through or what kind of day, or if they're unstable, or just like my grandson, his father wasn't there. His mother was all alone with him, and it's like he wanted his dad home for Christmas. His dad had to go off to work. He wasn't doing. Then we find all the cyberbullying on the computer, and then this unaliving pack that 3 of the 13-year-olds had made, and he's the only one that went through with it.
So sorry.
And sorry for no trigger warning.
No,
sorry, no trigger warning. Apologize for that.
But
it's I guess I'm just so used to. I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it. I have to get it out. And that is why I stand up. If they don't have a voice, I'm going to give them one.
And that's the kind of thing. If you experience something like that, and bullying doesn't just happen to children. I mean, we have different.
No, it does not. Ask me. Hey, ask me. Have you seen me?
Yeah. I had somebody. I had somebody send me a threatening email not too long ago, accusing me of doing something which, no. But they
I have
didn't know how much
videos made about me. I'm so popular now. Yay, I must have made it to the big time. Now they're making videos about me.
Yes,
you know what I tell them? Just keep going with it. I'm glad I'm living in your head.
That's
it hurts, it stung, but
but I try to make songs that build people up, not push them down. So
he made a song. I got a song made about me with a video. Get something special, huh?
Well, it's like being called a member of OSA. Remember when the OSA thing was going on?
I know, right? No, wait. OSA is... Wait, I got some OSAs in my chat. Wait, which one of y'all? Is my OSA and OSA in here yet?
That was
my poor.
But if you are experiencing something,
Sophia was OSA in.
If you are experiencing something like that, where somebody's being violently attacked, and you know what, it happens. If you're not trained in self-defense, okay, at a minimum, try to find somebody else to call 911, go get somebody, because having a group of people will diffuse situation pretty easily. And they don't have to be ninjas. They don't have to be police officers, but just having a group of people who come upon, and they will be out of that mindset because you're calling them as, hey, a member of our tribe is being, and you have a separate tribe from that as the rescuers coming into it. But unfortunately, we're all open to influence, and that can be used for bad or good.
You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all human.
If you think you're not being influenced, look at social media and, look at the ads you get. You'll probably face at some point, you'll face something that's new. That creates focus. Then you'll be given something that's scary. The machine knows to do this. You'll be facing something new. That will create focus. The next thing you push, the next you swipe will be something scary. We're all going to die somehow.
End of the world.
The next thing you face will be an ad. That's how they use it. That's part of the fate model at work. Focus, authority, tribe, and emotion. That is a way to exert influence on somebody, and we're all open to it. Yeah, different levels. The important thing is to be aware of it.
Awareness is the key, because okay, so during just COVID lockdown, I can bring this part up, I know for sure. So, and I'm not okay. Let me caveat this with, this is not, we do not do politics. This is not political. This is not whatever. There's the whole thing. It's not there. We've got a lot of people. I need to put this thing up real quick, Ben, because we have a new system here because we had an incident. So I want to make sure that it gets up. Anybody sees red light, sees anything in the chat, our safe word is red light. Our mods know to go hit that immediately. To go find them. Yes.
Oh, I'm going to steal that.
You absolutely can, please. And we've got the 988 on there, but it's just being in the mental health, and you too. Yeah. Just because we were in the conversation and we missed two comments that really concerned me. So now we're going to stop. If anyone sees anything that concerns them, they type red light, and my mods, they will immediately stop us. So, absolutely. Oh, thank you, John. I figured that we got everybody in here now. Hey, Brian. Hey, Susan. Hey, Sophia. Oh, yes. So, yeah, it's definitely worth the replay. But so, okay, now my thought. Here we go. This is called Seizures and ADHD Unmedicated. Oh, room raid. I love y'all. You know that. Hey, wake. Y'all know I love y'all. Okay, now I've lost my thought because I was gonna that's why I wanted to put that red light in there, and I don't know what I was saying.
Let's see here.
It's gone.
Go get somebody, form a new tribe. We're open to influence the fate model. I'm trying to jar your memory.
I don't know, but I can tell you that. Okay, this one's coming to my squirrel. Yes, squirrel. That's it. John, you're right. Squirrel. It's always squirrel. This is Tori actually taught me something really great. When I lose my word, which I do, I have that with seizures really bad. I lose my word. Oh, thank you, Sophia. So she knew. But Tori said, start explaining what you're trying to say. Just start explaining it, and somebody will find your word. Because it's embarrassing, especially on here. That I understand, but I understand that. I live with it. The hysteria and the COVID and I don't even, I know what I was trying to say. Now it's gone. So I'm going to go to my next thought before it's gone. Is the more that we get into these, like in our YouTube, the more that we have in the chats, I'm beginning to see, which I believe y'all touched on this last night, a little bit about the little, we have our community, and then you have the split and split and split and split. But I don't believe in, and y'all spoke on this last night too. I know I listened to it, but I don't believe in the echo chambers. I want people in here to debate me. I want someone to debate me, a healthy debate. And that is only because I was on the debate team in high school, first of all, and I haven't got to do that in a while. I've went to law school. I haven't got to debate in a while. Come on now. But this is not the channel, but for mental health matters. Mental health is mental health, and it's your own story.
Yeah.
I would never, ever diminish anyone's story. But I know that more being alone now, I know where my thought was, more being alone during COVID and the lockdown and all the hysteria and everything. Boy, don't make me squirrel again. I got to quit reading the comments. The no soul what we call Xenu eyes now, I saw that a lot of regular, everyday people. After we started, everyone was masked and muzzled and confined. And like I said, this isn't political or not. It's just the truth that when you're not able to be with your tribe, then your true colors really do start coming out, because you can only hide, some of them can only hide it for so long.
Yeah.
And there's a lot, and you can't argue your argument. You really need to reflect on it. If you can't argue, oh, thank you, Sophia. Yeah. There was so much just, I don't know. That's when YouTube, to me, that's where I found all of the channels in the community. And it's just like, you see so many people with me working in, that's the thing, me working in mental health. I can notice that I call it Xenu eyes, but to me, it's called a no soul. You know, when I look in someone's eyes, if I'm one-on-one with them, I know whether I'm going to have an escape or I'm going to not let myself get pushed in a corner in the field that I do work in. I'm going to have it out. But on here, when you can't see someone just by their words and they're just out to hurt you, that's also can be put in that category. And if you don't want to be put in that category, don't treat people like that.
Yeah.
Show everything.
And that's one of the things it's one of the scary effects of Darren Brown's video. He gave people, I hate to mention the word since you already said the V word, the vid, but he gave them masks to force the individualization to come up. People feel safe when there's anonymity. I can't believe I said that word right. Yeah, it causes people to act in the most strangest ways. But the important thing to always remember is you're talking to a flesh and blood person. I don't care if the person has 12 degrees hanging on their wall. I don't care if they're not even a high school grad. They're a flesh and blood person. Right. You know, everybody deserves basic respect, basic humanity, basic empathy. We all, I hate to use the cliche, we all bleed red, but it's very true.
No, that's the truth. That's very true.
And Awakened in the Looking Glass, she was talking about an event that I don't understand, but apparently, there's some very hurtful things going on in our little community.
Let me see.
I'm hoping that, she didn't say it here. I mean, she talked about it.
No, but she's right about that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And the pain, and we all feel the pain. Mm-hmm. We do. We all feel the pain of this community, the separation of this community. Sophia's always got, John, can you grab that for me, please? Yes. Lowered inhibitions brings out who we are beneath the surface. So wise. So wise.
Yeah, people, as long as there's trust in the system, people will work within it. The second they don't have trust, they'll work within that system to burn it down.
And that is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And my wish for this community is it doesn't allow it to do that.
Yeah. Yeah,
there's more of us that are.
Well,
there's more of us here, y'all. We can do better.
I'm kind of humored to mention this, but the person who accused me of making some videos, they obviously didn't look at my videos too much because I use Aaron in most of them. The only reason why I didn't last time was I just simply didn't have time to put them on. But I use it in my openers, and that's one of the people the videos are about. Is, do you even know who you're? I mean, yeah, these are the same people. I shouldn't say same people, but it's like the whole OSA thing. They accuse Liz, Gail of being
poor Liz, my best buddy. Look, I don't know if you can even.
Liz.
I don't want to have to switch my camera again, but if you can look right up at the top of my shelf, there's Liz's book.
I do like Liz. She's a kindred spirit. I like how clumsy she is. It's very endearing.
She is just so sweet, and she is a true human being. I mean, like she is truly. I love Liz Gail. I think everybody does. Yeah. She's with me. She's got a song made about her too, I think. So we're doing good. We're in the same. But it's funny. I will tell you this though. I'm not going to say it on here because we're a neutral mental health channel. But I will say this: I read your description, and I'm frozen now. Okay. Am I still frozen?
No. You're fine.
Okay. I read it in your description, like on your YouTube channel, and I like who the one that you did say you could talk about.
Chris Shelton.
For some reason, I don't know, I had a conversation. Can I call it that? On Twitter. We do this back and forth. He loves to be annihilated by me. I can't get him to block me, but that's okay. We have conversations. If that's what he wants to call it. But he also loves being annihilated by me. So I don't know.
Yeah, I adopted that position because AA Ron said it was okay. No, I don't mean that. But yeah.
Oh, he called me out. He told me I was in a cult. That's why I adopted that position.
No.
Don't call me in a cult. You have no right to. You have no right to call a whole group of people a cult when you're.
And I think
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, and I think that's a very important distinction too. Is that we can practice empathy, but we can still disagree with people. You know what? We can still bring a machine down because you know what? Some machines deserve to be brought down, and we don't necessarily have to call for pitchforks and all that. But I mean, there are times at which we're called. That's why we have anger. We have anger for a reason. And anger is information. It's like any other emotion. What you do with it, it's calling you. We get anger when our value system has usually been violated. Usually, now what our value system is, that's a whole other ball of wax. But when your value system has been violated, you're being called to act in some way. Now unfortunately, we get that anger, and it can be we lose our thinking brain. We get that lizard brain, and it gets hard to articulate a lot of times.
What is it? Our reactive mind. We use it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll use our reactive.
Yeah,
I use my critical thinking skills, and I use my madness. And if I'm mad as hell, I'm going to be mad as hell, and I'm going to tell them. And don't mess with this redhead from Texas because I'm going to tell you how it's going to be.
Yeah, and if you find yourself trying to debate in that condition, just deep breathing.
I have to mindfulness. Woof, time to breathe.
Yeah, you can even try to do 728 divided by 64. Trying to work math will get that brain. We saw this, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Johnny Depp. There was a very interesting example of this. Johnny Depp, if you look at him during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, he's just constantly doing something. His lawyers told him to do that, to keep that thinking brain engaged. It doesn't have to be words. You can be drawing something. Try to draw, picture of a child. I don't care if you can only draw stick figures, just draw a stick figure of a child playing with a dog or something like that, in a field full of lilies, whatever, but that will keep the forward part of your brain engaged or help re-engage it to help give you that thinking center, which you need in debate.
You don't want the emotions. You have to bury those emotions. That's the one place you need to have your facts. You need to be prepared. And even if it catches you off the fly like it did, I mean, last night on X, I was just like, oh no, this is not going to work. I mean, we have this love-hate relationship, I think. Chris and I do. If for some reason, don't know, he likes to dish it out, and he likes to take it. So I don't hold back. But what I say, I'm not saying anything to cut him down. But what I do tell him is, I'm not going to fall. I'm not going to accept that. That's not okay to me.
Yeah.
And I will explain why it's not okay to me. And then when he comes back with his gobbledygook, I'm sorry, it's not okay with me.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to remove what you wrote. I'm just giving you my opinion and I will give you the facts to back me up on that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we can get into the whole, well, never mind. I shouldn't even say anything.
No, there's just there's so much misinformation out there about, what Blake, oh no, I'm really not trying to trash anybody on this channel. This is not, but you're making me laugh. Like,
Balake.
But I really, Balake. I just want people to get the correct information.
Yeah.
And not someone, I mean, there's a lot of people I've learned on YouTube and on other platforms that they just read it and they take it as fact. Do your research. Research. Just
And I've heard very well-intentioned people I'm friends with, who have been wrong about, some of the most basic things. And the thing is that to remain open, you know what? If I'm wrong, fine, let's talk it out. You know what? I may be a little butthurt by it, but you aren't responsible for my emotions. I'm responsible for my emotions. So, let me deal with that.
That's right.
And we can have a talk. And if you guys ever disagree with me, by all means.
No, but I really agree with you on that. That's actually, I mean, there's no debating anymore. It's I hate you. You're not in my family, or you're not my friend anymore because you don't agree with me. I don't do echo chambers.
No.
And that's what I've noticed. It's just becoming more and more of there's no dissent, no debate, no facts. It's just simply it's a black or white. And then here we go back into the black and white thinking.
Yeah. That is we can pull. There's multiple examples. I was going to do a show on, of course, there's so much lore behind it. Oh, I hate to do it. The Satanic Panic.
Right.
I mean, that is something where it has been built up, and most of the instances never even happened. I mean, like the original cases when saying women, children are being sacrificed in this, cemetery in Canada, and turns out no. But that built up this huge thing, and it caused this big scare. And, when you grow up in that, you think, oh my gosh, oh yeah, I got to stay away from that. I can't do any role playing. You do this, and it's like, there's nothing bad about it. I mean, about certain aspects of this thing. And it's like, well, what else was I, causes you to question, if this is wrong, what else you guys lie to me about? And it's like they weren't, your parents weren't lying to you. They're just feeding what they were told in good faith, and it was wrong information. But a huge community really discredited themselves by doing that, and it wasn't intentional, but it was all started by this little group, and it just steamrolled. And now all of a sudden, boom! You can't listen to Led Zeppelin. Ozzy Osbourne, whatever.
Right.
And, granted, you can have an opinion about Ozzy Osbourne. I think anybody who snorts ants, off the sidewalk, okay, you got it.
Hey, if I like his music, I like his music,
Yeah. You don't necessarily have to agree with somebody's political mindset of the worldview necessarily to like their music.
That's right. And music is my passion. Like I didn't know, Ben, if I'll show you. I'm very much into, for obvious reasons, the Semicolon Project. Okay. And music is my therapy. So hang on. Let me try to hold this out of the way. Wait. There we go.
Yeah. That's a very creative use.
So I didn't, I had my little semicolon right there. So, yeah. So, John, hello.
Speaking of music, somebody's on mute, and it's not me.
Are we here for music?
Somebody's on mute. You're on mute.
You're on mute. Mute.
It's not me for once. I didn't
mute. There you go.
Sorry, I felt a disturbance in the force. Someone say music.
Music. Yes.
Some of us are well aware that Neil Peart was God, and there's others that we will choose to call heathen. But we'll just agree to disagree on that, and but those who don't worship.
And see, don't you love that? You can people can disagree and just agree to disagree and go on with their lives.
It's just that there are two of us in this room that are right and everybody else is wrong. I mean, but okay, we can live with that,
I like being on the right side of things.
Oh, Lord.
Those Southern girls, they just don't know, Ben.
Hey, you just don't know about Southern girls. Music. Wait, Sophia. Music makes these muddy heartbeat move. Yay! Yes, I love music. That's
I
just
think I might have a fan.
Blake, I did not actually get to these starred ones that we were talking. I'm so sorry. But you have to get everyone focused on the situation in a productive way, so everyone's doing something and no one's doing nothing. Blake is our wise young man. That's what I call him.
He's still made of rubber. He doesn't know he's
he's a 60-year-old trapped inside a 25-year-old's body.
Exactly.
He really is.
Let's
We call him
see,
Benjamin
Awakened by the
Buttons.
Looking Glass. It used to be desensitization more than any other thing, more than anything nowadays, though. Yeah. I actually went through that in therapy, though, about being desensitized, because I was being locked up during the pandemic. I love that behind you right now. They love people. I mean, leave people better than you found them. I absolutely adore that. Thank you. I really like that. But I learned that in therapy about desensitization because I couldn't even go into the grocery store. I am a Nashville going, concert going, Global Country Music Association vice president who is scared to death to go to crowds now. Okay, we have a problem here and it needs to be fixed. So I couldn't even go in the grocery store. I had a panic attack or an anxiety attack. And so she did the desensitization on me. First, we just drove there. Then we drove and opened the door. Then I drove and got out. Then I drove and walked up to the door. And now I can go in the store. So things are working. Yes. The mob mentality is obviously worse than the bystander effect because there are bystanders with a target in mind to malign with no regards to the needs of the safety of the said target.
Once they start acting for positive, we tend not to call them mobs anymore. We call them large gatherings or whatever. But just by very nature.
I think that probably go back to everything that happened in the summer of 2020. I mean, that example is like the one that just stands out to me.
Something happened in
just so much.
The coup?
The summer of 2020.
Oh, that's not the coup.
I was being facetious.
I'm
the comic relief around here. If you guys didn't know, I come in when the mood needs to be lightened.
I love it, John. You're out. Okay,
I've seen a lot of messages about Southern girls. I think I might have stepped in it, Keilah. Sorry. Southern girls are the best.
I'm a
Southern girl myself.
You are so outnumbered.
Y'all.
I'm not even on that side. You are so outnumbered.
Yeah, when they start talking in y'alls, you know you're in trouble.
Y'all's
fixing to get outnumbered.
I love it. Oh, I love it.
Guess I should have
You are
stayed
in
in the
trouble,
back office.
No, all he's got to do is talk. No, don't disappear now. All he's got to do is talk, and then they just melt. Everybody melts. Let's see.
Ladies.
So what did Blake read? Maslow's hierarchy of needs are like driving factors, and Herzberg's needs were like the maintenance factors. In the pyramidal needs factors, the pyramidal needs. Do you not see the wise person here that just?
He's reading out of a book. I'm not buying this crap anymore. He's got a stack of books in front of him, and he just flips one open and starts reading. There's no way. I went to school. I have 2 degrees in human resources, okay? I studied Maslow's hierarchy of needs in depth. I know it inside and out, backwards, forwards, and upside down. How in the hell does he know about it?
Because he is a smart, wise person.
He's still made of rubber.
He's OSA. I'm not buying it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I would give him that, except he didn't make the OSA list, and he's so disappointed about it.
It would have
been too obvious if they'd have put him on the list, right?
I was seriously butthurt I didn't make the list.
Me too. I didn't make the list either.
I was salty.
I'm sorry.
About it.
I apologize, Blake. I didn't know that. Okay, business management. Then then you got it shoved down your throat too. Okay. That damn pyramid, I'm telling you, I see it in my sleep sometimes. And I've been graduated from college
family,
for
the word
5
weird
years.
meant secular, satanic, and less than human. So anyone and anything outside of what my family liked or approved of.
Yeah.
More this go back to your tribe, or and Blake, I'm not meaning this to you because we talk on the phone all the time. But I mean, that is anyone outside of anything that's like the cult like behavior,
Well,
And
that goes back to something that you always say, Keilah. You hate the word normal. We don't use that word around here.
No,
because everybody's idea of it is different. There is no such thing as normal.
I so almost took the clip of Young Frankenstein where he's talking about Abby. Abby who? Abby Normal. I so almost took that.
There's no such thing as normal.
There, Ben.
There's no such thing as normal. Only on the setting on a jar.
That's right. But I mean, the same can be said for the flip too. What one person thinks is weird is, somebody else is normal. So yeah,
let's see what Blake says. Yeah,
it's not smart to paint people with the same brush.
No, we all have our own baselines, so that's what I say. We all have our own baselines, and sometimes we're a little off of them, depending on where we're at. Well, and I agree with this, Blake. People fear what they don't understand, but fear is the mind killer. Yes.
Best line.
Try my job.
First best line in the original Dune. Fear is the mind killer.
Yeah, and my job in mental health, people do not understand mental health, and they fear the crap out of it so bad. And it's like, okay, 1 in 3 people are going to have somebody or know somebody in their family or in their close circle that suffers from a mental illness or has a mental defect. Okay, 1 in 5 people in their family are going to develop that, if not them. So, it's just, if you got something against it now, just wait. Like I said, God don't put you where you want to be. Sometimes he puts you where you need to be. So I'd be careful about talking about that. And that's my rant for the day. Okay. Awakened by the Waking Glass. It is becoming less necessary to use our brains these days, especially with AI coming in exponentially. I worry. Okay, so I do too. And let me tell you, I locked my keys in the house. Okay. I had a remote, started my car. I didn't take ADHD, seizures, no short-term memory. I have everything in order, the way that I do things in the morning, down to, how I brush my teeth. Like, it's weird, but I have to do that or I will forget to do something. So I have everything in order for my morning routine to go. And what I did was I varied from that routine. I had to carry something different outside first. And when I did, it was like I was leaving.
Oh, yeah.
And I locked the door behind me. Well, both my phones were in the house.
Oh, no, and your car's running and it's locked.
My keys are in the house because I didn't bring my purse out. I had remote started it. I got in it. It was unlocked, but I couldn't even use it wouldn't even get close enough because you can't put it in park without the fob being in there. In drive. Yeah. I couldn't get my phones to pick up on my car Wi-Fi, which I was trying to do, but they were too far in the house. So I started walking over. It's okay. I'm freaking out. Hey, Heather, I'm freaking out. I'm going, okay, I'll go to the neighbors and use the phone and call Daryl and see if he'll come home and let me in. I got 5 steps and go, what good is that going to do when I don't even know his phone number? It's programmed in my phone. So, yes. I need to use my brain.
Domino effect.
Oh, that was the day. And I don't think Mercury was in retrograde, so I couldn't blame it. So. I think Alexa told me
that one was all you, Keilah.
Nope, it was all me because I think Alexa told me blame something else. It's not.
No moons to blame it on today.
I so loved. There was one episode of the Behavior Panel where Scott Rouse, he's one of the panelists. He was saying, I can't believe she didn't say, Alexa, call 911. His Alexa went off calling 911. The police showed up.
Oh my gosh! Every time I say that, I'm glad my earbuds are in. I have to wear my earbuds now because when especially Rachel will go, hi, I'm like, you just set everything in my house off. Sophia, I grew up with a lot of normal presenting people. At least I had fun, and I'm way more mentally healthy than a lot of them because I'm dealing with my hurdles. You're definitely You're my sweet friend.
Good for you, Sophia.
Yeah. She might live halfway across the world from me, but we stay on the phone more than anybody I know.
Oh, really? She never calls me. I feel left out.
What she calls me.
Well, that's because you're up all night long.
Okay. Quick question, Ben.
Uh-oh.
ADHD. Does it make you have, do you do better at night? Like in the evenings? Do you find yourself more productive in the evenings and at night than in the morning time?
Morning. I'm actually
Morning.
ADD
Wow.
though. I'm not hyperactive. I'm not so much hyperactive anymore because I'm old. But yeah, I'm actually much more productive in the morning because nobody else is up to bug me. And yeah, once I get distracted, it takes me forever to get back on task. I usually do fairly well at controlling mine with just diet and caffeine.
Lots of caffeine. So slow it down.
Yeah.
Caffeine is
and my doctors are like, oh, just if you want to sleep, because that I can, insomnia is part of it. If you want to sleep, stop the caffeine. I'm like, are you crazy? If I want to sleep, I need to drink caffeine. They don't get it.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Sophia.
I love her.
I know I do too. Oh, awaken, yes. ADHD. I know. My brain never stops. Red. Yes, you're more productive in the evenings. And yes. See, there was a study on ADD and ADHD that people that suffered from this or diagnosed with this or labeled with whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I have it. So it's that simple. I have it. That they did more or the study was more people were more effective and got more done more in the evenings and at night than in the morning time. So
that's the most important part of my day because that's when my video gaming occurs. And
okay.
But yeah, I mean, as far as productivity at work, yeah. But yeah,
that's lost girls.
The one thing I found amazing is that people with ADD, ADHD, they tend to do best in chaos, where they'll tend to think, don't screw up, don't screw up, don't screw up. When you do that, don't screw up, don't screw up. You will screw up. And it's kind of like the adage, if you teach a pilot to look at the thing that he doesn't want to hit, he'll hit it. So they teach them to aim at the sky. So what they found was after people with ADHD screw up, they tend to be really a lot better at crisis management than your normies.
Guess that's why I am the CEO of a psychiatric facility. Or in other words, chaos coordinator, shit show supervisor, and all the above. Yeah, that would be it.
And you probably have 20 things on your browser right now. Am I correct?
I do.
She loves her some tabs.
I do. I was medicated because my mother told me, you start 50 things, you never finish one, go to the doctor. She was correct. But I also just had a big, huge heart scare that they still haven't gotten corrected, and I didn't want to die from taking any more stimulants. So I got off my Vyvanse, and I won't take another one right now. I'm doing other things, mindfulness. Someone sent me a lot of links to different things to try, and I appreciate it so much, and it does work. Except my doctor gave me a medicine to sleep, and I'm like, I will never do. No. See, I'm not going to take that ever again because it is a hypnotic and I have seizures.
Oh.
This medication has a warning that states you can drive your car, you can cook supper, and you'll never remember it.
Oh.
Okay, wait a minute. I have seizures. Okay, I would like to make sure I woke up at some point, Yeah, not good.
Yeah, that's usually a good thing, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Shit.
No, fellas. She's taken.
Oh my God.
Don't start queuing up yet.
Okay, so this would be for you then. Yeah, Ben. I came, I saw, I forgot what I was doing, went back, got distracted, have no idea what's going on. Is this my cup? I have to pee.
can find that in the merch store.
Coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah. Kathy Ann.
Kathy Ann. No, I had to get that. I loved it. But
I love these chats. They don't even feel like hours, We're
I know.
over
I feel like I've taken
2 hours
all of
in,
Ben's
and
time. 2 hours. Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry, Ben. I did not mean to take all your time.
well, he doesn't have anything better to do. Come on. He lives in the freaking desert.
Yeah, I live in the desert, in a town you drive through. You don't drive to this town.
Exactly.
This
you drive through it on the way to somewhere good.
It's not as bad. Truth be told, it's not as bad as the Lordsburg Triangle, where people's cars break down for unexplainable reasons, and they all go to the same auto mechanic shop. You got one of them there new fuel injected cars. You gotta be some kind of rich boy to have one of them
fancy
them kind of cars. Like, oh my gosh, you start hearing banjos playing almost. Oh, I saw this movie. This does not end well. Oh my
God. Okay, so I live on the Gulf of Mexico, right at the Texas Louisiana. I'm in Texas, but the Southeast Texas, right at the Louisiana border. But on the Texas side, I'm talking like on the water. So every time we get hurricane after hurricane after hurricane after hurricane, I really want to tell everybody from Florida though to please, 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 please stay safe.
I thought you were going to.
I agree, Red. Because that what is her name? Did they name her yet?
Helen, I think it is.
Yeah, Helena.
I'm thinking of a different one. Or Helena.
No, it's Helena. It's a H. It's Helena or I don't know. Well, what is her name?
I thought
Helena. I don't know.
Helena. Yeah, Helena.
If you see Chuck Norris, tell him Ben said, "Hey," he'll know what you're talking about. No, he won't.
Tell him the cellist sent you.
I'm just. I think it's Helena Blake because I know they were saying it, but yeah, that thing's gonna they're predicting it a Cat 3. Or the last I saw was it going to be a Cat 3 hitting right at the Tampa area. The last I saw. I haven't looked.
Nice car, future boy. Future boy.
Oh God, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm just shocked that I just wish they came out with a truck with the bullet resistant windows. I mean, the thing looks like I don't know what it looks like, but I want the bullet resistant windows, damn it.
That Cybertruck should be bullet resistant, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but
it looks like it.
Oh well.
All right, Keilah, ask them the question you've been dying.
Okay, time to ask the question. Wait, would Blake say bullet resistant but not hammer resistant? All right, Carrie Underwood.
Or rollover resistant.
Okay, so I've got to think how to actually. No, this is a great one. Okay, so I always ask everybody the last question is, okay, so everybody out in that will see this on the replay and everybody in the chat, if they ever found themselves in a place where mob mentality or in where the the bystander effect and they are caught in that situation, what would be your advice to them?
You can snap somebody out of it pretty easily by addressing them. That's probably the best thing to at least get a couple people behind you before you start to act, especially now if you're in a mob. Yeah, you probably want to grab your friends and just start to distance yourself, because a mob can be a very hard thing to overcome depending on how close you are to the person of influence. But yeah, that's probably that mobs tend not to end well. So it'd probably be one of the things to do a slow exit. Now, bystander effect. Yes, you absolutely want to grab people and do exactly. Just look at them in the eye, address them. Hey, Bob, Sam, whatever your name is, red shirt. You go face the tribbles or whatever. I'm sorry, red shirt came into. But Star Trek reference. But try to grab somebody, focus, do eye to eye, call 911. Something simple as that. Get the AED machine. If they don't know how to use it, do you know how to use it? If you don't know how to use it, does anybody in here know how to use this?
That's
there you
fine.
go.
Something like that. And do you know? Not as anybody, do you, John, know how to? And I know John knows how to use an AED, and I know Miss McDonald, Ms. McDonald
Just
knows
say
how to use one.
You just say Keilah.
Keilah.
I'm Keilah.
Okay.
Just say Keilah.
I guess I'll call John Hockey. So
Hockey.
yeah.
No, I actually get mad at AEDs machines, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I can read my own rhythm. Give me a defibrillator. I will read my own rhythm. I don't need a machine telling me what to do. And that's not being this God complex. That's because sometimes machines don't catch those little fine defibs that I can be shocked.
Somebody who's unskilled like I am, an AED machine, because
it's a lifesaver.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I think it should be part of. I think it should be part of all CPR training.
Absolutely.
Here's how you use it.
Absolutely, I think it should be in everywhere.
Yeah. Even if you don't know how to use it, because you don't know if you'll be in an environment where there is one available.
Well, that's the beauty of them. They're designed to be idiot proof.
Yeah.
Just make
sure. And that they are.
Tell you where to put everything. And
when it tells you to, just make sure to get away from it.
It says we used to do this, and when I was in school, I'm clear, you're clear, everybody's clear. Sure.
Yeah, you lift your hands in the air, clear. Just make sure nobody's touching anything. Yeah, I messed up the first time I used one. I was actually still touching the body, and I got zapped too.
Whoa, like being tased, right?
That's the kind of thing you only do once,
Yes.
The body reminds you next time.
Yeah. But
sure.
I thank you. I've been trying to get your attention in all the chats. I was like, John, no, you were, let's see, in Alicia's, and you were in, who was it the other night? In Hamina's. And Rachel kept saying, Ben, email Keilah. I was like, Ben, email me.
Unfortunately, I do not do as good of a job as you do. For some reason, when I'm running it, if I'm in it, like a participant, I can read the chat. If I'm running it, I don't know why. I just I look at the chat and it's like I can no longer read. It's like I graduated in Bisbee High School.
Hey, I'm just thankful that John. I'm grateful for you coming on this evening, and I appreciate it. And yes, everybody, please go subscribe to Ben's channel. He's definitely worth the watch. I mean, he's here to make this world a better place.
Really is.
Thank you so much.
He's our kind of people.
I really love the stuff I love the vibe that you have here in this channel. I think it's even. I won't say it. But no, I think John is fantastic. I would like to pick on
amazing.
him, but I won't. He really is. I can't. And his voice ticks me off because it's so damn good.
I told him
all the ladies say the same thing.
I told him just record his next video and I'll overdub it for him. Imagine my voice.
Yeah, we get him to do that voiceovers. But you see what he's up against. He's got Red. He's got me. He's got Kathy Ann. He's got there's so many. He don't know the fiery redheads. So
I like that one. Look at that. Somebody's kissing up tonight. Look at that, Ben. Hashtag Ben for Prez. God help us all.
Blake, we love you too.
Yeah, Awakened really helped me with it's really interesting. Really helped me with what do you call that thing? AI music. It has its idiosyncrasies, but if you want something positive, you can make your own. And it's like, wow.
Yes.
If it's good, it's like, hey, I can use this for bumper music. I don't have to rely on. I don't know about. I don't know.
I heard his theme song.
I don't know about this thing, but Restream. Oh, the music in there. It's so yeah.
You got a hairball there, Ben? What's
John?
What's going on?
So then, yes, John is awesome. I agree.
Oh, shush.
Let's see. Sophia says the
Well, this
redheads.
one I like.
Oh yeah, Sophia's
The
a redhead
redheads
too.
are a force to be reckoned with. There you go.
Yeah.
I am a sucker for a redhead, so I attract them. I like it.
You got a lot of them in here.
First time in my life. Awesome.
But no, there's you can send Ben the let me get a private chat because I don't want to say this out loud.
Blockade. What's the atomic weight of boron? He probably knows.
Right? That's what I want to do. I want to start drilling him. We'll see how long it takes him to find the right book. Oh yeah. Well, I was going to say, we've seen both. We've seen both sides of it, Ben. Obviously, AI is great for generating bumper music and stuff like that, and it has some wonderful applications, but it can also be used for evil too, as we found.
It's whoever it's in the hands.
People are making hate songs about Keilah and others of our friends, and
I'm just so over it. Wait. What did Blake say?
Boron? I don't know, but it's a noble gas, right? See what I mean? How long did it take him to grab that book? I think he just goes, Alexa.
10, and this is not a table of elements. Well, this is, but it's behavioral table of elements. It's not.
Where did you find that?
It's Chase Hughes.
He got it on Amazon. It just makes him look smart.
Oh,
I actually just made it up. You can't know. Yeah. It's Chase Hughes University. Or
he shows it to the girls, so they think he's smart.
I need that in my office.
We're on to you, Ben.
No, I need that in my office.
What? Periodic table of elements?
No,
for
if he says it's behavioral.
You need it for some light reading?
It's basically used for detecting stress, which is then can also be, not necessarily, but it can also be associated with dishonesty, depending upon the amount. But the important thing is use it for stress detection, which is,
He's wearing an earpiece. I remember because Blake is feeding him information.
Sheldon's roommate, the gauntlet test, and
playing Cyrano de Bergerac over there.
He probably knows base 8 math. I could probably ask him.
How did I surround myself with nerds?
Oh, Heather, yes. Jack in the Box. I got Domino's waiting in there. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten all day. So
I'm probably a bigger
see, even on my
cup
semicolon project.
I really like that. Where'd you get that?
It's got my name. Daryl made it for my birthday, and then my music, and then the heartbeat for the paramedic. And then,
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. It's a cool color too.
That's a good guy. You might want to keep him.
I'm a pink freak. Except now I can't wear any of my pink clothes because my red hair just don't work.
Sure. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out that my camera at home for the longest time, it was white balancing and made me look like a vampire. So then I finally get one that doesn't have white balance. It makes it look like I'm having a heart attack, all red in the face. Okay, fine, whatever. I
have about 1, 2, 3. I'm on my 4th one. This is the 4th one.
We gotta get you a better mic.
I like it. It's got the AI and everything. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Although it's not on.
Some people have cameras that follow them around the room too. Although actually, I think 2 of us do, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, the eyes.
See, mine's supposed to do that, but it doesn't do it because my AI is not on, and I don't know how to turn it on.
It's blind.
It'll go up like when I get on StreamYard. The blue light will come on for AI, but when I'm in StreamYard, it won't work.
That's weird.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I'm doing.
We were talking about OBS earlier, me and Ben. OBS has a lot of toys. Have you ever played with it, Keilah? It's another alternative to StreamYard and all those.
No, I've actually Streamlabs. I have.
Oh, really? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Okay, so hang on. OBS, I'm gonna have to be playing with that.
OBS has a whole bunch of cute toys. You can mess with your voice, and
I bought a green screen just for that.
Ben's doing a tutorial just so he can look cool.
I have a green screen. Cool. Why didn't somebody tell me that it's a huge green sheet
Well, what did you
I have
think
it
it
in
was?
my drawer down there. It goes like
Well,
from
yeah.
one end of my room to the
It
other, but I've
stretches
not even
across the
put it up
frame.
yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
Awake,
make. I don't know
They're
what to do with it.
fantastic.
Awaken
Oh.
is a Jedi master in that. So
Talk to
Okay,
Kathy
Awaken.
Ann. She'll point you in the right
Kathy Ann,
direction for green
whoever
screen
knows
stuff.
how to do green screens, because I still got mine in my package down there. I don't even know what to do with it.
I think you can do it here in StreamYard, if I'm not mistaken.
I think StreamYard. I think it has tools.
But I
for,
don't know what to
second.
do. I don't know. I don't even know why I got. I don't know what to do with it.
Hang it up, add a background, and I think there might be a setting in StreamYard for it.
Yeah, I think it's like virtual back. Yeah, go into virtual background in settings.
Yeah.
And then click on the tab that says I have a green screen, and it'll show you all the different overlays that you can project onto your green screen, and it makes you look like you're in different rooms. It's cool. We'll talk off screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that because it's still stuck in the package.
Yeah, I've got one too. I used to, back in the Photoshop days, I used it to like take pictures of the family and then try to put cool backgrounds on. It's pretty fun.
Well, no, but I got TikTok Live now, and I didn't do TikTok at all. I'm not a TikToker.
Now you're hooked.
No, I'm not really not. It was a competition. Me and Daryl to see who could get the most followers.
Queen.
No, I did my first 2 lives. The first one I forgot to even title, and it was for Reese, and I was scared to death. And I was like in Sephora yesterday going, and I'm making it's like I was like walking around my phone. I was scared. I didn't want anybody to see me live. I can go live on YouTube. I'm scared shitless to go live on.
Well, the important part with YouTube is just to make sure when you go live the first time, just to make every mistake possible, and then. But
hey, Hamina. Hey, love.
Hamina, happy birthday, sweetheart.
Oh, it's a birthday.
Oh, thank you, Blake.
There was an interesting. I almost did a show on it, but a lot of this stuff, it's so hard to dig up research on it. But there was an effect in TikTok where people who were shooting videos, it was doing touch face on people without an option. I mean, it's on by default of it retouching.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Hamina.
And they were saying what an effect that has on young kids.
Hamina is 29 today.
Wow.
Hamina, happy
birthday. Doesn't look a day over 25, does she?
Good grief. She's still made of rubber too.
Yeah.
Doggone kids.
I know it. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody here. I really do. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Ben, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. And
thank you, John.
John, thank you. And I'm going to see if it's going to work. If y'all want to hang out for just a second to see if this is going to work, I'm going to do Susan, all y'all, everybody, Red, Blake, everybody that's a mod. Y'all work so hard. I appreciate you. I'm going to try the outro. The intro didn't work, so we're going to try this outro. But I will be posting on our next time in. It won't be tomorrow because tomorrow is the day that I have to work overnight, day and night. So I will be back on Thursday. Let's see if this will work. I don't know.